We all know lentils are incredibly healthy, but sprouting them makes them even better. They're easier to digest, so you'll get way less bloating, and honestly, much more fun to eat. And it's so easy. Lentils are one of the fastest, cheapest, and highest protein foods that you can sprout right on your counter. Before we jump right on in, you can sprout all kinds of foods: beans, seeds, grains, and even some nuts. But lentils are a simple, great place to start. Let me show you exactly how I sprout them step by step. Then I'll share a few food safety tips and how I use them. What are sprouted lentils? They're simply dried lentils of any color, as long as they're whole, not split lentils, that get soaked. This way they germinate and then they turn into little living plants, and that unlocks more of their nutrition. But why sprout? Taste alone, you get a crunchier, fresher, more fun food, in my opinion. But nutritionally, sprouting boosts certain vitamins, especially vitamin B, and it reduces phytic acid and other compounds that basically can block your body's absorption of minerals. So you can actually get more iron, zinc, magnesium, etc. out of the same lentils. It also makes them way easier to digest, and while lentils are already high in protein, the protein becomes more bioavailable, meaning it basically just gets unlocked so that your body can use more of the protein compared to that of unsprouted lentils. Lentils are also really rich in prebiotics, things like resistant starch. And if you've heard of all that about prebiotics and resistant starch, they're really good for feeding the bacteria in your gut. And when you sprout them, they stay prebiotic, but just become way gentler on digestion. Think about it this way: depending on the type of lentil, you've got 4 to 10 grams of prebiotic fiber in a cup of cooked lentils. For context, you could get a probiotic supplement that might only contain 2 to 5 grams of prebiotic fiber. Okay, let me show you how to sprout these things. You're gonna start with whole lentils. Any kind will work, but make sure they're not split lentils. I like to rinse my lentils first, just so that I'm not starting by adding dirty lentils into my clean jar. Then you're gonna add maybe a cup of lentils to a clean glass jar. Definitely don't add more than this for this size jar, because they're gonna sprout and become this. You won't have room later on. Cover however many lentils you used very well with water, so maybe 3 cups of water. And then these are gonna soak overnight or for about 8 to 12 hours. Then you're gonna drain and rinse these really well. If you don't have a sprouting lid, that's totally fine. Then you set the jar upside down to drain. I'll have these lids linked for you below if you want to get them, but if you don't, then there are other creative ways to do this. You could get some sort of towel, or if you have a cheesecloth, throw that on with a rubber band, and then just set this at an angle in a bowl to drain. You could even throw your lentils into something like this and put it over a bowl. They will get a little bit more stuck in these little holes of your fine mesh strainer as they grow, so maybe not as ideal as a small sprouting lid, but if there's a will, there's a way, and you will make it work. And then you're just gonna rinse twice daily, morning and night. And in just 24 to 48 hours, you're gonna see little tails, and that's it. You've got fresh sprouted lentils. Here are mine. I would say let your lentils sprout for 2 to 3 days. You can even just go 1 day if you want. Mine have gone now 4 days just because of timing with this video, which is not necessarily better. It's fine, but the more days you go, the more the lentils are actually gonna start to use their own nutrients for food to keep trying to grow. So more is not necessarily better, and they do get a little bit more bitter, but it depends on what you're going for. If you want a slightly more grassy, earthy taste, let them sprout a little bit more. If you don't, you just want them sprouted a tiny bit, wait until you just see the tip of the tail. So they're really done whenever you want them to be. Might need like some sort of tool to get these out. So there you have it. These are your beautiful sprouted lentils. That looks like it would be delicious on a salad, right? Kind of crispy, totally different than a regular lentil. Okay, let's talk food safety. Is it safe to eat sprouted lentils raw? While sprouted lentils are generally safe, there's always a chance that improper handling, likely even before you get them, can introduce harmful bacteria like E. coli or salmonella. I will include a link below if you want to sanitize your lentils before you even sprout them. It's kind of involved. It's not terribly involved, but for me, I was like, I'm never gonna do that. So here's what you can do. To keep sprouted lentils safe, I drop them in boiling water for like a minute or 2. This is enough to kill any pathogenic bacteria that would be on these. And if you want, you can put them in a cold water and ice water bath to immediately stop their cooking right afterwards, essentially blanching them so that they keep that nice fresh crunch. That's one step too much for me also, but you're welcome to do that. So that's what I do, especially since I have a child. Best practice for children, pregnant women, and immunocompromised individuals is to not eat these raw. But plenty of people do, so it depends on your comfort level. There are even some brands, I haven't found any, that apparently say pathogenic free. They've maybe tested them before they get to you. So then I dry my sprouts thoroughly, and store them wrapped in a towel in the fridge where they stay fresh for about 5 days. How to use sprouted lentils. You can use sprouted lentils in so many different ways. On salads, as a crunchy topping on a sandwich, or wrap, in stir fries, curries, stews. You could make sprouted lentil tacos, put them in chili. And although raw, dry lentils usually take 20 to 30 minutes to cook, once sprouted, they're gonna soften up for you and only need about 5 to 10 minutes of cooking. So now I will show you how to make my sprouted lentil hummus because it is really good. Sprouted lentils. I'll link a recipe for you below. Tahini, a little extra virgin olive oil, the juice of 2 lemons, garlic, gotta love garlic, cumin, and last but certainly not least, salt. Blend. So good with crackers. And carrots. Not getting fancy here. Or you can eat with a spatula. It's that good. So for reference, 1 cup of cooked lentils, sprouted or not, gives you around 17 to 18 grams of protein. I know everybody wants protein these days. If you try sprouting lentils at home, let me know how it goes. Check out my other sprouting videos. And remember to eat real food. I'll see you next time.